Hi everyone, welcome back. This is day 2 of the Kick Sugar Challenge. So day 2 we are looking at eliminating, that's the title for today. So firstly, I just hope that you had a good look through your pantry, that you managed to go through everything and look at the panel and just familiarise yourself with what they look like and the serving size, and then add it up over a day. If you haven't had a chance, it'd be good to do that today. I just thought I'd talk about a few things first before we move on to the worksheet. And when you're looking at the label, you look at what comes first, that'll be the highest amount. So if I look at these hot chili beans, it's got kidney beans, sauce, tomatoes, sugar is the third thing on the list. And then we'll look at 2 servings in there, 14.5 grams of sugar. So remember that 1 teaspoon is 4 grams, nearly 4 teaspoons in half a can. And that's how you can work out that it's actually got the white refined sugar. And it's also quite interesting to look at tinned fruit. Here we've got 60% minimum of fruit, peaches, pears, pineapple, cherries, fruit juice. So it doesn't say added sugar, in fact it says in clear fruit juice. Sugars, 21.5 grams of sugars, and that's in half a can. So this may be fruit sugar only, which we'll talk about in a minute, but it's still going to affect your blood sugar. So that's in half a can. So remember, when your blood sugar spikes, you go up a roller coaster. We will talk about it a bit more, but then you get the blood sugar drop and you feel all exhausted or fatigued or dizzy. So I looked at a couple of cereals. So this is a gluten-free mixed berry cereal. Rice, corn, sugar. So sugar's the third on the list. Then it goes buckwheat, dried berries 12%, currants 7%. And then down further you can see golden syrup, apple juice concentrate. And just remember, I did put a list of all the different names of sugar that they hide in the Facebook group. So 1 serve is half a cup. There's 7 serves in there. So in half a cup you'll be getting 12.5 grams of sugar, which is 3 teaspoons. So that's in half a cup. Rice bubbles. So most people, I don't think, realise how much sugar is in rice bubbles unless you've looked at the nutrition panel. So in here there's 9 serves. The ingredients are rice, 90%, then sugar, salt, barley malt extract, which is another name for sugar. Per serving, sugar is 2.6. Actually, that's not as much as I thought it was. It's been a while since I looked at it. I think it's cornflakes that's really high. But what do people do when they have rice bubbles? They put sugar on it, white sugar. Well, that's what to show you a mayonnaise as well, because people presume that things like sauces and that don't really have a lot of sugar. So this mayonnaise, canola oil, antioxidant, water, malt, vinegar, sugar. So that is about 4th on the list. Serving size 25 mils, which is nearly 2 tablespoons, 3.5 grams of sugar. So I'm differentiating the carbohydrates and the sugar. So we're just looking at the sugar at the moment. So that definitely adds up. And quinoa, someone bought this for Christmas, dark chocolate and sea salt. 6.9 grams. There's 6 servings in there. So I think serving size is a big thing to consider. So I do encourage you to record and just go and look at everything. Everything. Here we go. I just got some cacao, organic cacao, sugars less than 1%. So that's good to know. Right, so I wanted to talk about drinks, different drinks that people have. If you've got children at school doing sports, or anyone, they often buy vitamin water because they feel that is going to be a better option. I remember doing this myself when we had teenage boys. So, because I know how hard it is when you have children to try and get them to have no sugar, but the more awareness they can have and exposure just to look at and understand about nutrients and how much sugar there is in our environment or in our daily intake, then the more possibility that they're going to take responsibility for what they eat. So this is one serve, which is, and it says here it's selenium, so that's got selenium in it. How much I already don't know. 22 grams of sugar for more than 6 teaspoons of sugar. And it's got lots of additives in as well. It's easy to look up online different additives. I do have a book somewhere, which I'll get out tomorrow. Because once you look at the at all the different E numbers and preservatives and get an understanding of what it can cause, it really encourages you to make things yourself. So that's got 22 grams of sugar. So then people would think, oh, well, that's a better option than V. I've actually got 2 Vs. This V, 710 mils. I can't imagine how revolting it is. Sugar's 28.3 grams per serving. I think this is a whole serving. Daily intake, oh, it's really hard to read. Average quantity per 100 mils, 10. 20, I thought it said 200. Oh yeah, serving size, see how hard it is to find what you're looking for because they hide it. Serving size 250 mils, one serve 28.5 grams of sugar. This is 710, so that is more than 3 times the amount of sugar in there. Wow, that is a lot. And then it's got caffeine. I mean, it says it's got vitamins and other things in it, but I can't imagine that there's any benefit in them to myself. So that's that V. And this one here, this says 1 serving, 250 mils, sugar 0. Now, why does it say 0? That would be because it has a replacement chemical sugar in it instead. Stuff in the bottle, carbonated water, acidity regulators, taurine, guarana, which is a herbal thing, stimulating, sweeteners, acesulfame, potassium, sucralose. So, is that better for you? That remains to be seen. I'm going to talk about the chemical replacement sugars very soon. And yes, this one here, Honest Cola. So this is in New Zealand. This is Honest Cola, actually cola nuts, real malt, natural cane sugar, a cheeky squeeze of lemon. And in there we have 26.6 grams of sugar for nearly 7 teaspoons. So people will go for the natural, so-called natural alternatives, and if you don't read the panel, you'll realise that, you know, it's all advertising. It's really quite unfortunate. Yeah, that's a bit sticky. Okay. So the things that you can choose is mineral water, and in New Zealand they have a lot of these probiotic drinks. So the downside of the probiotic drinks is that they can actually cause a histamine reaction. I do hair testing on people's hair, and I have seen people with itchy rashes, and it's come up that they've been having kombucha. And I talked to one lady, and she was having up to 1 litre a day, which is just way more than your body can tolerate. So just because it's so-called natural, it still can contribute to health issues. But you could, if it says 1 serve, just go and read the label anyway. But those sort of things are quite natural. Like there's also a kefir drink. There's lots of local stuff around here actually. and they are good for your digestion, but bearing in mind that not everyone, if you've got other gut issues, then they may actually aggravate it. If you find that you've got bloating or any sort of digestive bloating, diarrhea, reflux, you could always have to look at all things, including so-called healthy options, because not everyone suits everything. Our bodies are different. Okay, so the video that I have to take that video out. So I have in the Facebook page today, Facebook group, I have got an article called The Dangers of Splenda and Other Artificial Sweeteners. And that is a really great article. It talks about what artificial sweeteners do to your body and why sugar substitutes can be really dangerous. It talks about all the natural ones like stevia and coconut sugar and all of that. So aspartame's another one that has been used a lot. Evidence is building that daily intake of Splenda and sucralose, and I would say all of them, can trigger many potential side effects. They may alter glucose and insulin levels, which is why people often don't take them as a choice. So they still can affect your blood sugar there. May contribute to migraines, and something that I've been aware of before is they can decrease your good gut flora because they can damage it. Gut flora is the good bacteria in your gut. And they can think of it as a garden. You have a beautiful garden and you've got your weeds and you've got your lovely plants or vegetables or whatever. And they are the ones that you want to flourish. But things like antibiotics, and I won't digress too much, and these sort of chemicals can actually really damage the garden. So they might actually kill off the good guys, which is the good plants, and then the weeds can flourish. We have to remember that our gut is, our microbiome is complex and requires nurturing. And then it also says it can increase diarrhea and bloating. It's really interesting, that article. The other article that I put in there is quite interesting. We'll just scroll it up because it's a couple of years, it's from 2018, but it's basically how your face can give away what you eat and drink, which is always interesting, and it's quite a big article, but it talks about the wheat face, dairy face, wine face, and sugar face, and how that affects your body. So I'll just read out the sugar face for you. So excess glucose molecules from sugar attach themselves to collagen, making these normally elastic fibers rigid. Skin will sag and thin, and lines and wrinkles appear, particularly on the forehead and under the eyes. Too much sugar impacts the balance of bacteria in the gut, which can also trigger acne on the face, shoulders, and chest. So I thought that was really interesting. Our body really does, looking at different parts of our body really does show what our inner health is. For example, in your eyes, skin, nails, tongue, they all show what's going on in your body. Okay, so looking at the sheet, just starts off talking about high fructose corn syrup, which is the big baddie that's in soft drinks and processed foods. For example, all the other stuff that I've been talking about, the V. It's sweeter and cheaper than glucose. High fructose corn syrup is processed by the liver. So because it is processed by the liver, this is where issues can begin. And because people take it in such high volumes, it is stored in fat cells around the abdomen. And that contributes to high blood sugar, high cholesterol, fatty liver disease, and it is a huge factor in obesity. And if you look at people over the last 30 years, how much weight people have got on, and it is around that area. And then it just talks a bit about the studies that show that the artificial sweeteners that I referred to that in that other article. Just one other thing I wanted to mention on that point was when I did the workshop, the Kick Sugar workshop, and we had everything spread out on a table and added up what an average teenage person might have over the day. And we did like yogurt, cereal, Wheat Bix maybe, tinned fruit, and then a few biscuits, sandwiches, sausages with mashed potato or whatever, just sort of a general day, and then one of these fizzy drinks, and I can't remember what else exactly, but it worked out that it was nearly 3/4 of a cup. And I mean, you know, when you look at white sugar and you think that's no nutritional value in there, it just depletes you. It takes 28 molecules of magnesium to process 1 molecule. It's just amazing. Anyway, so the challenge today was, what do you drink other than water? So we've just been overlooking all the different things. You can drink coconut water. Is actually amazing because it hydrates your body. It does have some sugar or carbs in it, and it is really important to eat mindfully. So because we absorb everything we eat through our stomach, we need to chew, and our digestion starts in our mouth with saliva. We need to chew our food really thoroughly and make sure that we break it down to minute molecules so it gives the best chance for absorption. And then we have the stomach acid, and then down into the small intestine we have the liver and pancreas. I mean, as well as sugar, we still need, from the pancreas enzymes, we do need to have our whole digestive system working really well to absorb the food that we're eating. So I really encourage you to eat slowly. It's hard. I wolf my food down way too much. But if you sit down, chew your food thoroughly, focus on your digestion, focus on getting the best out of the food in a happy manner, because the energy that we put into the food then transfers into your body. And don't drink heaps of water with your food, because if you drink lots of water, then you're going to deplete your your digestive enzymes are going to be watered down, so you're not going to absorb so well. And the symptoms of poor absorption can be anything from your nails not growing nicely to fatigue, and especially if you have symptoms like diarrhea, then you're not going to be absorbing things. It's a whole nother story. So the day 2 tip is to eat protein with every meal and snack. And the reason why is because protein slows the absorption of glucose, so we don't get the big spike in blood sugar as it goes up the roller coaster, and the insulin is absorbed into the cells. We also feel more full if we have protein and healthy fats with our meal, with each meal, rather than just having cereal. That's why it's a good idea to swap out with things with protein like eggs or leftover dinner legumes. They all have protein in it. So the size that we recommend for healthy eating is your palm of protein. What can fit on your palm? So bigger serves for bigger people, bigger hands, I mean. And then if you're having nuts and things like that, you just do 3 fingers. And that's actually part of my weight management or healthy eating protocol. So I've given a few suggestions there, and I will put some into the Facebook group from different recipe, some different ones that I've had before, different pages. So you can have a chia pudding, you could have leftover dinner, or a smoothie. Smoothies, some people love them, some people don't. And one thing I find with people who have smoothies is that they might just put fruit in there and call that a smoothie, or ice cream, or dairy. But you actually need to put protein in as a base and build your smoothie really with protein and healthy fats. I've got a one I'll send you later on in the week, a recipe for how to build a healthy smoothie. Anyway, I think that is all for today. Yes, it is. So I hope you were enjoying learning about this stuff. Do make the time to watch that video, check out what you're eating, and chew your food more, because, you know, it's putting it into practice each day is going to make it easier. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.